Julian here. Today, I'm going to be giving you 5 tips that I wish someone gave me before I started producing. You know, there's a lot of information out there, and there's a lot of conflicting information out there. And I've designed this channel to just kind of be a no BS method to get all the important information. So today, I'm condensing 5 really important things I think everybody needs to know into this video. So stick around to the end, because I promise you, if you miss one of these, you're going to have a much harder time in your music career. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe if you haven't already. And check out my samples as well as my ghost production and custom tutorials, lessons, and track finishing in the description. It's a great way to support me, but also all of this is really accessible and it can really help you guys all take your tracks to the next level if you're stuck or if you need some new inspiration. Links at the top of the description. And let's dive in, guys. Alright, so the first tip I really wish someone would have told me, like in my first 5 years when I was very lost, was essentially the quality of your sounds matters much more than the mixing ever will. And really, mixing should kind of be sound choice and composition is kind of part of mixing, you know? There's a lot of information out there about, here's the best mix down plugin, and here's this thing that's gonna make your bass and your kick not clash and all that, and it's if you just have good sounds, you're not going to be thinking about that stuff. If you truly get to a point where you understand what makes a kick really good, for example, or what makes a hi-hat really good, or any kind of sound, you'll realize oh yeah, you really just want to get the best, for example, the best kick sample right off the bat, and mixing is just turning it up, or maybe making that kick in a separate session and then bringing it into your track while you're working on it. And I think there's this idea spread around, and a lot of it is capitalism too. A lot of it is literally just companies are trying to make more products and sell more products, so they're like, here, get this magical kick saturator and it's gonna make all your mixes better. And it's just it's not actually helping production. It's this, again, it's capitalism, all that. We don't need to go down that road, but yeah, so I think it's really important to just focus on getting better sounds rather than mixing, because a lot of people are going to try to sell you information about, oh, you need this plugin and this and that, and really, if you just have better sounds, the mixing is literally just, turning it up, So that's how you want to think about that, and I think that'll really take you a lot farther, because once you realize that, it's very liberating, you just start really studying, what makes the best sounds, and really trying to understand that, and then just figure out how to make them yourself, or sample them, or build your own out of samples, all that kind of stuff. So that's the first thing, is the quality of sounds really matter more than anything. The second tip here, and this may be a controversial one, so let me know what you think in the comments, is essentially making the best music is honestly not everything. You could really make the best tracks of all time. It's just got the best breakdown, the best drop, the best lead, the best kick, whatever. But if you're just sitting in a room and not showing it to anybody, or showing it to people, on the internet in a somewhat passive way, you're really not capitalizing on having the best music, because it really is this magical balance of relationships and making great music, but also just being able to kind of connect to people and connect to the people that are the gatekeepers or are the ones that you need to work with to get to the next level, label owners and stuff like that. And that, a lot of people will say, oh, I hate that, but that's the game. That is the game we're in, and if you want to play the game, you gotta play the game. So, and that's not that hard to do. To me, it's pretty easy. Just be a good person, be, I guess, accountable for yourself, don't do any bad stuff, don't try to talk behind anybody's back. And another really good piece of advice too is be nice to others wherever they are on the food chain. Just really make sure that you treat everybody the same, because I think that can really take you a long way. And I think also, you might think, oh, well, why am I going to try to be nice to this guy? He can't really help me with this or that. But at the end of the day, they may be the one that gets you in the door with the person that can help you. And if you make them angry or make them feel like you don't see them the same, that can really hurt you, and you might not even realize it. You're just oh, why won't the head person help me out, But you really gotta be able to do that, and it's just gonna show a level of professionalism that'll really take you. And that's why I say, it's not just the best music. You know how many people make the best music and they're just rude to people, and they really, don't get that, you just have to have this aspect of it. So really put some time into that, and just work on, I mean, you know, basic social skills are all over the internet, but it's really important, man. And I've been learning that too, because I put a whole lot of time into trying to make the best music, and I learned that, you know, there's more to the game. There's more to the game. And, you know, to go on top of that, my next point here is essentially, yeah, treat everyone the same. Because the other thing is you never know where they're going to end up, right? Like, you might have some person who you think, oh, he's, you know, why would I be nice to him or whatever? Like, I don't see it this way, but this is like in that space of just of ego and all that kind of stuff. You might think, oh no, why would I want to be, you know, nice to this person? They can't help me. Well, dude, you know, a year from now, that might be the label manager, you know? So that's why you want to be good to everybody on the way up, because you just never know. And also, you know, if you do well for a while, let's say you go up and you're just being, you know, whoever you want to be, you're being rude to people. Okay, you're going up, you don't need to be nice, whatever. Wait till that one moment when your career starts to fall. Wait till that one moment when someone says, oh, your new track didn't do as well as the last one, or whatever it may be. And I promise you, all those people that you thought didn't matter, that you treated bad, they are going to ensure that you never come back up from that little dip. So you always want to treat everybody the same, treat everybody nice, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to help really get you through this long haul of being a musician. So that is very, very important stuff. The next tip here would be, honestly, don't be afraid to sample sounds from other tracks to learn. Like, you will learn so much. And I was afraid to do this for a while. Like, and what I mean by this is, like, you know, for example, grabbing a kick out of a techno track and not just dropping it into your track, but dropping it into your track, hearing how it sounds in your track, studying that kick, and like really just understanding what's happening in there, and then remaking it. But I think we're oftentimes afraid, we think it's going to be copying or something, but it's like, dude, when you try to remake that, you don't have the same plugin they had, you don't have the same sample, you don't have the same all that. It's going to end up different, but you're just going to learn so much. This held me back because I thought that this was wrong for such a long time. And sure enough, when I finally started doing it, when I started referencing stuff and really like sampling sounds in and understanding what's happening in them and all that, I was able to really get to another level because I was finally actually studying what's happening. Like, if you just grab sounds out of a sample pack and you never actually like listen to a track in your project file with the track that you're working on, or listen to a professional kick or something like that, like, you're never gonna know what it's actually supposed to sound like. You think you will. Like, even if you just go Spotify, Ableton, Spotify, like back and forth, it's still not gonna get you as good as if you really sit there and you sample that kick into your track, or that synth sequence, or whatever it may be that you're trying to make something as good as, and essentially just study that and try to make your own take on it with your own techniques. And that also kind of goes into the next thing, which I think is, honestly, like, learn one style really well. You know, a lot of people think they want to be sort of chameleons and they want to do a whole lot of stuff. I was like this as well, and I think it's exciting when you're first starting producing to try everything under the sun. But the truth is, you're going to get really good. Like, let's say you just pick techno and you're like, all right, for the next few months, I'm just going to really focus on techno. You can still make other stuff, but in terms of like your releases, what you're trying to like really get good at, pick that one style. Because if you try to be the chameleon, you can do that once you understand certain things, but when you hammer down on one thing, you're going to realize, like, wow, this is really, there's so many little subtleties of this that I wouldn't have gotten if I was trying to be the chameleon and do all these different styles. So if you really just hammer down on that one thing, you're going to learn a lot more, and you're going to be much more effective, I think, because you're able to really get into the nuances of that, and then you can bring it into other stuff. I mean, with myself, it was techno, and now, like, I'm sitting here making, like, a pop song, or, like, a song with guitars and rock, and, like, I learned, like, oh, you know, a techno track can work with just the drums and the bass and, like, one motif, so that could work in this pop music, too, you know? But if I just tried to study techno on the surface level, and then house on the surface level, and then all this other stuff surface level, you're never going to get that kind of stuff that's ultimately going to help you make all the other styles of music. So I think if you learn one style really well, you get better at every single other style as well. And yeah, so those are my 5 tips that I really wish somebody had given me when I was first starting this, man. You know, they would have saved me a whole lot of time, and now you guys have it all in one video. So thank you so much for the support, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to grab my sample packs at the top of the description. Also check out my lessons in ghost productions and track finishing. Thank you so much for the support, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.